Hey guys, so here's part one of the hillbilly gun truck build. So we're going to start on number one, which is the chassis. So we're just going to chop the chassis rails off of the sprue. So hopefully you're seeing what I'm doing at the minute. So we need the chassis rails. Looking at the chassis detail on this, it looks pretty good, to be honest. It looks fairly crisp. Just need to clean up a little bit of flash on these, and just where I've trimmed it. But overall, the detail on it's fairly crisp, as you can see on the hand there. So we're just going to do the same on the other side and just trim it off and make it all nice and smooth. Just tidying it up a little bit. There's a little bit of shit on the end of that one. Right. That's going to require that. Okay, so that's the other side done, as you can see. Identical to the other side. So looking at that, those pieces go like that. So the next bit we need then is 11 and 12. 11 and 12. Right, so where is 11 and 12 on here? Okay, it's not on that one. It's on this one. It's on sprue B. Okay, so there's 11 and 12, which is basically the gearbox. Looking at this, so that's 11 and 12. Again, we're just going to do a little bit of cleanup where we've just trimmed it. That side looks alright, so there's 11. Again, we're just going to smooth off that bit there. So there's 11 and 12. Basically it's the gearbox sides, they're both identical. That's basically what you're looking for 11 and 12. So the next pieces that we need then are 9 and 10. 9 and 10 is the transfer box. Okay, so we'll trim that. And that's already come off the sprue. That and that. Okay, we'll trim them up. Just quickly trim that. Okay, so 11 and 12 is the transfer box. So you've got both sides of those to find. So there's, 10 and 11 or whatever it was. I don't know if you saw on the box, but it actually said that this is a new mould. And looking at the pieces, there's very, very, very little to no flash whatsoever. The only thing that I can really see is on the bonnet. It just looks as though there's a little bit of damage in these holes here, which will probably clean up. But other than that, that's all I'm really seeing. So we need part 4A. 4 is this big sort of like piece here. So we need to get that off. Snip. 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 And snip. Okay, oops, let's just drop that. So, oops. Just trim that up a bit. So yeah, we're looking good with that. Just a little bit of crap on the end there. Just a little bit of crap on the end there. So that's part 4 that we're looking for. So the next bit that we need then is 8A. So which was A? This was A. So we need 8. So 8 is on this sprue, and you're looking for this piece here. Okay. So we'll just trim that off. Okay, there's only 2 points on this where it's connected to the sprue, so we'll just tidy that up a fraction. Same there. So that's what we're looking for, guys. That's part 8 on A. So the next piece we're looking for is 7A, which is up here. That piece there. So we need 7. Again, only 2 little mounting points, so we'll just trim that up. Right, that's nice and smooth. That's nice and smooth. So we've got 8, we've got 7. So the next part we need is 6. So where's 6? There's 5. Where's 6? 6 is at the bottom of the sprue, guys. 6 is here next to the prop shaft. Okay, so again, 2 mounting points. I presume these are going to need to be super smooth because it looks as though it's a flush fit. A little bit of a seam line on the end, but other than that, it looks alright. Okay, let's just get a little bit of crap off of that. There we go. So, oops, that's part 7, guys. Oh, what was that part? 6. My bad, it's part 6. Okay, so 6 goes there. So the next bit is 2A and 3A. So 2 is this piece here. This looks quite flimsy, so a little bit of care. Chopping that off, I think. Okay, again, 2 mounting points and just trimming up the end where it's just come off the sprue. There we go. So that's 2A, that piece there. That goes at the back. So the next piece then is 3. So 3 there. And we're just trimming that up as well. So that's part 3, guys. That's where your rear foot mounts and that go, and your lights and everything at the back of the chassis. Then we need 5A. So 5 is this piece here. So we need to be careful with that one because it's a funny shape. I'll tell you what, let's just drop my scalpel. Be careful where you trim this because there's a little piece at the ends. I'll show you in a second. Oh, come on. There's just a little bit of flash and some injector pin marks on that piece. I'll show you that in a second. Just trimming up the ends so that fits nice and snugly into whatever it's going to go onto. Same on the other end. Alright, so that's the piece that you're looking for there. What I was referring to with these pins on the end, you need to leave the pins on. Okay, so be careful how you chop that off. On the inside of there, you can see the injector pin marks in the corners. There's a little bit of flash on there, but that's the only 2 areas that I've seen that have had anything visible. And the last piece by the looks of this is 13, which looks like a mini prop shaft. Now let's have a look at that a little bit more carefully. Oh, I see. So part 13, 13A's down here, it's this piece here, that's 13 there, little mini prop shaft. Again, on one side is fatter than the other. It wasn't until I dropped it. I just dropped the piece on the floor, guys. I'm just trying to find it without having to knock the camera or anything. So as you can see on there, that side's slightly fatter than the other. So on this side you just need to be careful of that little pin on the end, because if you're not, you're going to chop it off trying to get it off the sprue, then that might cause you issues when you come to put it on the kit. So that looks as though that's everything. So what we've basically got there is all the pieces, all of this for section 1 off the sprue now. Okay, so we'll start sticking them together. So I'll probably start with 11 and 12, stick them together, do 9 and 10, and we'll start putting the chassis together. So looking at this, I'm going to lay it out for where the pieces actually go, so it's kind of in a logical order. Goes like that, goes like that, that goes like that, then two pieces go together, then two pieces go together, and that kind of goes there. Right, so that's pretty much, I don't know if you can see how that's laid out, but that's pretty much how it goes according to the instructions. We've got a prop shaft as well, which goes there. So let's get the old glue on here. And back to the Tamiya thin again, like we were using on the F350. It is a pretty decent glue, to be fair. It's just really, really thin. It doesn't take a lot for it to dry. So that goes together. Okay. So now these pieces are together. Something that's abundantly obvious here that might need a little bit of cleaning up. So once it's together, there's a nice seam line on the front of this block here. You've got a nice seam line going all the way through, really. So that might require a little bit of attention. So we'll probably sand that up once that's in and about where it's going to sit. We'll see how much of it you're actually going to see. Okay, we're just going to blather this on here. We'll get some in these little mounting points here. Right, this is only going to go on one way by the looks of it. So let's get that. Yeah, it only goes on one way. Okay, so something that's immediately obvious with this piece as well. On the top here, it's leaving you with a little gap there for some reason. I don't know if it's not supposed to be there. It looks as though that's just a little bit of a cock up. Same on the underside. There's a little gap here that might need addressing. But all in all, it's done. We'll have a look once it's there or thereabouts. So looking at the chassis roll then. That goes into there. Now I'm hoping that doesn't go on there, I don't think. It's not that, it's not that. So that's saying that sits on there. Not entirely sure that's correct. Doesn't look as though that's correct at all. Right, we'll come back to that bit. So this piece goes on at the front, and that looks self-explanatory by the looking of that. It's not that bit that goes on there, is it? Yeah. Right, so the first piece then, that goes on in the first gap. Okay. So we've actually found a piece that works, or fits. So that goes into there. Let's just get that on there. Hold that for a couple of seconds so that glue's got a chance to set. And then right, so that's that. So the next piece is this. 7, that sits in there just nicely by the looks of that. Okay. So there's 7 that's going on. The next piece across. That's that. So then we'll do this bit, so it's not that one. It's not that one. It's this one. Right. Does that go on there? Right, so that goes on like that. Okay. So let's just glue this into there, guys. Sorry I'm not really chatty today. Basically what I've got a poorly on my face and it's really sore. It's getting on my tits, to be perfectly honest. So it's kind of sore talking, but anyway, we shall just soldier on. So the next part then is right, so the next piece is that then. That sits on there. Alright, so that goes on there. So the next piece then is that, which they say sits on there. I don't know if you can hear that commotion going on downstairs, but that's the plumber coming to fix a leak that we've got. But he's getting on my tits right now, fucking shouting the way he is. So the next part is this, and that sits in there. Right. Something that's immediately obvious with this kit is the pieces don't go together that well. I'll show you in a second. Right. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but there's gaps all the way down where the pieces sit. Like this piece here, the piece that it sits in doesn't actually fit the slot properly. And this is supposed to be a new build or a new mould. Let's try and figure out how this goes then. I'm thinking that maybe this might be a lot easier. Trying to get this piece in once the chassis is actually together. That sits in there. The next piece then sits sits in there. Right. So what we're going to have to do quickly is fill these gaps with glue. Because it's obviously quick drying cement. For a new mould italeri, not impressed at all so far. Considering you do some really good truck kits in 24th scale, I'd have thought you'd have maybe put a little bit of better effort into this than I'm seeing at the minute, particularly being a new mould as you're saying that it is. Right. So now I've got to get this bloody mount thing in. Okay, that sits in like that. That sits in like that. It don't actually fit the piece properly, and it's pulling the chassis apart. Wow. Get in there. Right. So basically, guys, that is step one complete. Yeah, that was a little bit of a ball ache, to be honest, and fitting the gearbox and the transfer box in is no an easy task, and it's the same thing as before. The pins that locate onto the chassis rails don't actually fit properly. I know it's crap light in here, but in here it doesn't fit the gap properly. On here it doesn't fit the gap properly, so you just need to be a little bit patient with it. The rest of it is exactly the same. It's the problem I see with these center supports not fitting in the gaps properly is you're going to end up potentially going to end up with a twisted chassis, because they're not straight. You obviously got that bit of movement at the where the pieces go, so it's going to cause you an issue. So I just look, even that frigging gearbox in the middle can't even hold its own weight with that prop shaft on it. Right, let's just leave that to dry then. Right, so that's stage one. I think I'm better off, rather than going through another stage with you right now with this, is to let that cure and dry absolutely solid. Because I can foresee this being a bit of a ball ache. Well, we'll see what happens when it's dry. Hopefully it's not going to end up twisted. So that's basically us for now. That's stage one of the hillbilly gun truck complete. I'll do stage 2 and stage 3 with you later on. That's pretty much us for now. So I'll speak to you in a bit, guys, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more talkative when I'm doing 2 and 3 for you. So that's where I'm at, and thanks for your time.